Welcome to our channel, where we explore the fascinating world of behavioural economics. Today's topic is confirmation bias, the phenomenon that makes humans a bit more stubborn than we'd like to admit. Today we will look at what is confirmation bias, how can confirmation bias affect our memories, and how do we overcome confirmation bias in ourselves and others. Confirmation bias refers to our tendency to search for, interpret, and favour information that confirms our existing beliefs, while ignoring or dismissing information that contradicts them. It's a cognitive bias that affects us all, and it can have significant consequences in our personal lives, as well as in politics, business, and other areas of society. For example, in politics, if you already believe that a particular political candidate is corrupt, you may be more likely to pay attention to the news stories or evidence that confirms your belief, and ignore or dismiss stories or evidence that suggest the opposite. This can lead to group polarization, where a group of people with similar beliefs become more extreme in their views over time, because they are only exposed to information that confirms their existing beliefs. The bias often manifests as negativity bias. This is where we pay more attention to negative information rather than positive information. This bias can lead to a distorted view of reality, where we perceive more negative events and outcomes than actually occur, leading to a negative view of the world, and would explain why we feel quite cynical after reading the news or scrolling through social media. Confirmation bias can occur on a group level and is the driver of group polarization. This refers to the phenomenon where people tend to become more extreme in their attitudes and beliefs when they are in the presence of like-minded individuals. This can occur in online communities, political groups, and other social contexts, and reinforces the extreme views that started out from confirmation bias. This may explain the polarization we see today, and the rise of internet gurus claiming they have the absolute truth. I'll let you decide who comes to mind there. This can have interesting and sometimes surprising effects on our perception of reality. For example, research has shown that people tend to remember information that confirms their existing beliefs and attitudes, while forgetting information that contradicts them. This can result in a distorted view of reality, where people perceive more evidence for our beliefs than actually exists. This effect is often exacerbated in social contexts like we talked about earlier. Only exposing oneself to information that confirms their existing beliefs creates a negative feedback loop, leading to further reinforcements of those beliefs and less willingness to consider alternative perspectives. You can see how this can quickly get out of hand. So, are we all doomed with an inevitable polarized world? Well, not quite. The effects of confirmation bias on our memories can have significant implications for our personal lives and for society as a whole, but there are things that can be done to counteract it. It's important to note that confirmation bias is a natural cognitive process that happens unconsciously. It's not something that people do on purpose, and it's not a sign of ignorance or ill will. So, how do we overcome this bias in ourselves and in others? Overcoming confirmation bias in others can be a challenging task, as people may feel defensive about their beliefs. However, there are some steps that can help reduce the influence of confirmation bias. The first is to lead by example. People are more likely to listen and consider alternative perspectives when they see someone they trust and respect modeling the behavior. So, by being open-minded and considering alternative perspectives, you can encourage others to do the same. Emphasize common goals. Focus on shared goals and values rather than the differences in opinions. This can help the person to see the situation in a different light and to become more open to alternative perspectives. Words like perhaps and maybe often help soften getting the alternative view across. And remember, the best way to overcome confirmation bias is to subscribe to our channel. Let's face it, you've already made up your mind that we are the best source of information out there, so you might as well let us reinforce your beliefs every week.